You guys know what they say, every time a new gun drops, an angel gets its wings. Well, today 3 new angels are going to be fluttering their way up to the pearly gates because Bergara has dropped 3 new rifles. I'm excited to take a look at what they have in store for us with you. So, a little background. I have always loved Bergara rifles. I've talked about them 1,000 times on this channel. I think I own 5 of them right now. Every single one has been very accurate and has fed very reliably. The only knock I've had on Bergara rifles is they're just heavy. Every offering seems to be a little bit heavier than the competition. And so I was really happy to see in this announcement that all of these are about cutting the weight, taking the current lineup that is very good and cutting some of the weight. So let's take a look at the very first one. We'll watch a couple seconds of the marketing video here.
Force that drives innovation. Better is the word that led us to developing this. The B14 Squared Crest.
This is the Bergara B14 Squared Crest. I don't know why it takes that many marketing monikers to name this thing, but that's what it is. So this is taking the HMR stock. This is my Bergara B14R. These same stock lines essentially, and making it out of carbon fiber to make it way, way, way lighter. This rifle is going to be 2.5 pounds lighter about than the HMR, but it is going to cost about $800 more. So my guess is MSRP is $2,000. My guess is street price is going to be somewhere around $17.99 for a carbon stocked rifle. I can't think of another one in quite that price point for a carbon stocked rifle. It is a steel barrel, and the weight overall is between 6.8 and 7.2 pounds. So it's still not the lightest thing on the mountain, but it's very respectable. This is a new line in their lineup, so see if I can get this right. So they have the Bergara B14 series, then the B14 Wilderness series. Now this is inserted, the B14 Squared series, and then their Premier rifles. Second gun. This is the Bergara HMR Carbon Wilderness. Price comes down a little bit. Looking at my notes here, I'm guessing the street price for this one is going to be around $16.50. And this, so the previous one was the HMR stock made of carbon with a steel barrel. This just reverses it. Now you get a carbon barrel with the composite stock. It is a little bit heavier because it's using that solid composite stock, but with the carbon barrel. So the weight is 7.5 to 8.3 pounds. I think that's still pretty heavy for most hunting uses, but I did think one place that this would be an awesome use for this is the NRL hunter competitions, because you do have to meet a certain weight class, but you do want some weight as well so that you can see your impacts. So that would be a kind of a cool use for this. So it's 1.5 pounds lighter than the stock HMR, but $650 more because you're going to a carbon fiber wrapped barrel. Time for gun number 3. This is dropping the price even more. Now the street price of this one is going to be somewhere around $14.49. So this is not the HMR stock. This is going to a stock more like the lines on the B14, like this is the B14 Hunter. The stock lines are more similar to this, but the finish on the stock looks a little bit more like this from the Bergara Premier series. So the price on this guy is going to be around $14.49. That's notable, I think, because I don't know of any other rifle with a carbon fiber barrel that comes in at that price point. So this is pretty significantly undercutting the competition for a carbon fiber wrapped barrel. Now, the weight on this is great, 6.4 to 6.7 pounds. This is really only 0.5 pound lighter than the Bergara B14 Ridge. They added a little bit of a longer barrel on these, 2 inches longer barrel on this offering. I don't know why they did that. I was pretty happy overall with the barrel lengths. So those first 2 rifles we looked at, 6.5 Creed barrel lengths were 20 inches. This one is 22. 6.5 Creed was, or 6.5 PRC was 20 inches. This is 24. Same on 308 and 300 Win Mag. This is another 2 inches longer at 24 inches. So I was really happy on the first two. They went with short barrels. I think it's great. It's a definite trend in the industry. Everybody's wanting those shorter barrels. But on this one, they went a little bit longer. But I do think we're going to be talking about this rifle quite a lot. It's going to be the least expensive carbon fiber wrapped barrel rifle that you can get. And if it's like any of the other Bergara offerings, I expect it to have pretty good quality. The last thing that we saw from this same company, CVA and Bergara are owned by the same company. CVA came out with the CVA Cascade XT just a few weeks ago. I don't know if I totally understand that one. They went to a heavier contour barrel, but then they fluted the barrel. And so I thought, does that make much sense? Because you're adding more material to go to a heavier contour and then you're removing the material. I don't know that I totally understand that. I mean, the fluting does in theory help to cool things down a little bit faster, but it's also removing material, and so you don't get that stiffness as well. And so I don't know, but then they give kind of a more tactical, longer bolt knob on that one. So pretty small update there. I'm not sure I totally understand that one, but it's there. You know about it if you see that one out as well. That's the news from Bergara this week. Excited to see these at SHOT Show. I'm going to have coverage of everything coming up, all the new guns that are going to be dropping over the next couple weeks. So stay tuned to Backfire.